Hi friends, you're watching Cricket with Raghuram. On the final day of the third test match between India and Australia at SCG, Vihari and Ravichandran-Ashwin became unlikely heroes for India as they showed grit and composure and drew the match for India. Australia would have sensed victory once they had taken 5 Indian wickets, but Vihari and Ashwin came out of syllabus for Australia. Vihari and Ashwin batted out 1.5 sessions, yes, 1.5 sessions, and managed to frustrate all the Aussie bowlers and ultimately helped India to save the test. We need to remember that Vihari was not amidst runs. He did not score any runs in the previous innings nor in the previous 2 tests. Vihari was the focus of all criticism from all corners. The Indian think tank too was heavily criticized for having Vihari in the batting 11 as his role was not at all defined. Vihari was given too many chances and he never came to the party. But today when this young man got the opportunity, he played with Ashwin with the hamstring pull. He hopped and jumped around the crease with pain and difficulty and ultimately drew the match for India. The same was the case with Ravichandran-Ashwin. Ravichandran-Ashwin, in spite of having a good time with the ball in all the 3 test matches, hadn't shown his batting skills at all. We know that Ravichandran-Ashwin is a very good batsman, but it had been a pretty long time since Ashwin had played a very good knock for India. And today when he got the opportunity, he played along with Vihari, showed character and grit and did not give away his wicket. Along with Vihari, Ashwin became the batting hero for India and also instrumental in the historic draw at SCG. Hats off to Ashwin and Vihari, they'll be remembered in history for this precious innings. Vihari got 23 runs in 161 balls while Ravichandran-Ashwin got 39 runs in 128 balls. Their innings so frustrated the Aussie bowlers that they started sledging around the Indian batsmen. Before this, Rishabh Pant missed out on what could have been a deserved 100. He played an electrifying knock of 97 runs. In the second session, when Pant and Pujara were building up that innings, it even looked like India would win the match. Pant played in the way only he can and brought in a lot of positivity. His entertaining innings generated a lot of positive hopes in the Indian camp. Pant has been consistently doing this. Pant's breezy and bold innings brought back the memories of Virendra Sehwag. Pant was on a rampage and he punished all the Aussie bowlers. It looked as if Rishabh Pant was taking revenge on the Aussie bowlers. Had Pant and Pujara survived for 1 more hour, the story of the match would have been totally different. Possibly, India could have even won the match. Pujara also played in the way in which only he can. He took 205 balls to score 77 valuable runs. Pujara was heavily criticized for his slow batting, but I genuinely felt that it was unfair. This is a test match and Pujara has his ways. Many times you need someone who doesn't sacrifice the wicket, who holds the end, defends those balls and saves the match for you. Pujara does this well, he knows his role. Pujara's role in the result of this test cannot be ignored. Pujara has played 381 balls in both the innings. That roughly sums up around 63 overs. Yes, Pujara has batted out 2 sessions. And you don't draw test matches without someone doing that. Earlier on the first day, Australia won the toss and elected to bat first. Australia made a couple of changes. Pukoski and Warner made it into the team. India also made a couple of changes. It was the comeback match for Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma opened for India with Shubman Gill, while Navdeep Saini got the chance in the playing 11. After the early dismissal of David Warner, Labuschagne built up big partnerships. First one with Pukoski and the next one with Steve Smith. Pukoski batted brilliantly to get 62 important runs for Australia. Labuschagne was masterclass. He missed out a century but contributed 91 runs to the total. But the real frustration for the Indian bowlers was Steve Smith. We know Smith is a character, he is gritty, he is bold, he is demolishing. After Labuschagne's dismissal, in spite of all the wickets falling around him, Smith constructed his innings with composure and scored 131 runs. Smith was the last batsman to get out, thanks to a brilliant throw at his stumps by Ravindra Jadeja. Ravindra Jadeja was the pick of the bowlers for India. He picked a unique fifer. Apart from the 4 wickets, he effected the most important run out of Steve Smith. Indian bowlers had their moments. They did not allow Australia to walk away with a very big total on the board. With some useful top order contributions, Australia managed to post 338 runs on board in their first innings. In reply, in spite of getting a very good start by Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, India were bundled out for 244 runs. The Australian bowling was attacking and to the mark. Cummins and Hazelwood were unplayable. Cummins was the pick of the bowlers for Australia with 4 wickets. Indian batsmen got good starts, but they couldn't capitalize on them. While Shubman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara got half centuries right at the top, Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja played some cameo at the end. But these efforts weren't enough for India as Australia managed to take a good lead. As expected, Australia made very quick runs in the second innings. The intention was very clear. They would add as many runs as possible to the first innings lead and give India a mammoth total to chase down on the final day. Australia declared their second innings at 312 for 6, leaving India to chase down 407 runs to win the third test match. It was once again the same Labuschagne, it was once again the same Steve Smith to frustrate the Indian bowlers. Both these batsmen got half centuries at the top after quick dismissal of Pucovski and Warner. But the real frustration for the Indian bowlers came in the form of Green and Payne. Both these batsmen put a big partnership for the 6th wicket and also scored quick runs, with Green getting out for a well-made 84 just before tea. Australia declared their innings. In the second innings, India was given a very good start by Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma got his half century, but he couldn't carry his innings ahead. In fact, I should tell that Rohit Sharma threw his wicket after all the hard work he had done. If India would have gone to the stumps on day 4 with Rohit Sharma or Shubman Gill remaining not out, or both those batsmen remaining not out, the result of the match would have been totally different. On the 5th and final day of the test match, India had to play session by session according to the merit of the ball. It was a very difficult scenario for India. Should we bat for a draw? Should we bat for a win? Rahane got out very early in the first session and Pant was promoted ahead of Vihari. And the way Pant batted, my God. He batted ferociously and created hopes that India could very well win this match. At the other end was batting the classy Pujara. It was a unique mixture of defense and offense. With Pant around, India would have probably sensed a win, but Australia came back into the match by quickly dismissing Pant and Pujara in a space of 9 overs. At this point, India had more than 40 overs to bat with Hanuma Vihari and Vihari-Ashwin at the crease. With Vihari's injury and non-availability of Ravindra Jadeja, winning the match was totally out of equation for India. They had to play for a draw. And then was scripted one of the great fightbacks to save the match in the test history. Ashwin and Vihari batted 1.5 session with grit and courage and saved the match for India. With this draw, the series is still evenly poised at 1-1. The final match between India and Australia, the 4th test match, would definitely be a thriller to watch out. Hanuma Vihari would probably not play the 4th test because of the injury, but he has done the job for India. This was possibly the best reply Hanuma Vihari would have given to the critics. I wish Vihari comes out of this injury very strongly. I also wish that if given a chance, Hanuma Vihari would play match-winning innings for India in future. Hanuma Vihari definitely needs a break and this would be that ideal break. Rishabh Pant, on the other hand, was criticized for the dropped catches in the first innings, but he came back strongly with that match-saving 97. Out of all these things, what fascinated me the most was the attitude of Ravindra Jadeja. He was showing the signs of fight back from the dugout. It was really pleasing to see Ravindra Jadeja wearing his pads and gloves on, ready to come out at the center and bat for India if need be. In spite of being injured, in spite of being ruled out of the match and series, Ravindra Jadeja was still ready to come over and bat for India. These are the positive attitudes from individual characters which collectively makes a team look good. I congratulate Team India for drawing this test match. Though technically it is a draw, every moment of the match belonged to India. Seeing the playing conditions, I would definitely say India is the true winner of this match. That might be an emotional statement. Keeping it aside, I would still wish that India goes with the same grit, with the same courage, with the same intent into the final match, win over Australia and come home with the Border Gavaskar trophy. What a test match it has been. What else do you expect from a good test match? Going all the way to the wire, going all the way to the final over of the test match, and wonderful display of grit and courage. I also congratulate Steve Smith for his player of the match performance with that really good 100 in the first innings and 80 odd runs in the second innings. India should find ways to get Steve Smith and Labuschagne out as early as possible in the next match. The other part of the Australian batting is also good, but these two batsmen look really dangerous. Thanks for watching my video. If you loved my video, kindly like, share and subscribe my channel. I'll catch up with you all in my next video. Until then, goodbye. Namaste.